you don't talk to yourself, it's going to be weird. I talk to myself all the time, so I was like, this is great. Hey sailors, welcome back to Cruising as Crew. My name is Lucy, and today I'm going to be giving you a little tip that I use to not lose my mind when I'm working on a cruise ship. So if you are thinking about working on cruise ships, if you have yet to start your first cruise ship if you have yet to start your first cruise ship contract, then please keep watching because I think you are going to want to know this information. But before we start, please press like and subscribe for more cruise ship content. And if you have any video suggestions, you can leave them down in the comments below, or you can DM me over on Instagram at Cruising as Crew, and I will be sure to get back to you. But as for now, let's get into the video. So this little trick that I'm going to share with you today is something that I started when I got on my first ship, and I didn't realise how much of a lifesaver it would actually be when I started it. And what that trick is talking to my computer. Now, I'm sure you're sat on your computer thinking, what the hell is she talking about? Well, so I have a MacBook Pro laptop, and on the Mac computers there is this thing called photo booth, and you can just take photos of yourself, but you also can press the little record icon and record yourself. So when I got on my first ship, we were in Australia, so we were on the other side of the world to the UK where I live. So when it was daytime, my family were asleep, so it was really difficult to keep in touch with family members because of the time difference. Also because, as I've said in previous videos, the internet on cruise ships is a little bit shoddy, and I was really busy. So when my parents were like, okay, we can call you, I was like, I can't, I'm at work. And because I had just got on board, I hadn't really made friends yet. So I was like, well, the kind of things that I need to talk about, I don't really want to talk about them with you because I met you yesterday when we were both drunk. So I turned to my trusty computer, which at the time, it was a bit weird, but I think I was like, I just need to vent, and there's literally no one to vent to at this moment, so let's go with it. I turned on my photo booth, clicked the video, and just pressed record. And I think my first video, I made it like 2 weeks into my first contract, and I just sat in front of my computer and just vented about everything, about the good stuff, about the bad stuff, about everything that had gone on in the first 2 weeks of being on board. This video that I made, it was like 45 minutes long, and I cried, I laughed. After I filmed it, I remember thinking, if anyone stumbled upon this, they would actually think I'm a lunatic. But you know what? I felt so much better after doing it. And I've kind of done it ever since. It's like a video diary. Well, it is a video diary. I don't write a diary, I film my diary. And I'll probably do a video maybe once a month, but normally it's just when I'm feeling like I need to vent. And you know what? There are multiple reasons why this is an incredible thing. So number one, why it's an amazing thing to do. Cruise ships is a very contained environment. Everyone knows everything. People know you've said something before you've said it. So you really need to be careful. If you're going to talk about someone behind their back, would not recommend, because they will find out. The only way you know who you can trust is by telling them things that aren't meant to get out, and they either do or they don't. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people who just can't help themselves but blab to the other person. So if you do find yourself getting really stressed about one particular person and you're like, oh my god, I just need to vent about this, and maybe like me, you're the other side of the world, the time difference is completely different, so you can't even speak to people at home about it, speak to your computer, because your computer is not going to blab. Number two, your computer doesn't have an opinion, it doesn't have feelings, it's not going to judge you. You can say exactly what you feel. I find, especially when you're talking to someone who you really don't know that well, because maybe you've just met them, you are going to censor what you say slightly. Depending on who you're with, obviously, if you're with your best friend, then you're probably not going to censor yourself. But like I said, if you're with someone that you've only just met, you're going to tailor it a little bit. With your computer, you can be 100% honest and say exactly what you feel, no matter how extravagant it is, no matter how wonderful or horrendous it is. You can just say exactly what you feel. And the third reason it's so good is because it's a way of documenting your experience. So yes, you could write a diary, and if that is your preferred method, then that is absolutely fine. But what I like about the video diary is I can literally see how much I've changed. I can see if I've, you know, my appearance has changed, my voice has changed, the way I speak has changed, if my opinion on certain things have changed. And if you're writing these feelings down, you don't always capture the emotion behind it. Like in this video diary, you know, there's a few videos where I am literally sobbing my guts out. And although, you know, I don't sit down with popcorn and watch it, it's amazing to see something that obviously meant so much to me at the time, and now I'm like, oh my God, Lucy, like, wow, calm down. But also it's great, there's a few videos where I've come back from going out in port and I'm just so overjoyed because I'm like, we've just had the best day, you know, we've been scuba diving in the Great Barrier Reef, or we've been in a hot air, but you know, and I can just see how excited I am. So it's a really amazing way of just documenting my experience. And to be honest, while making this YouTube channel, I have referred to those videos a lot because we remember moments, we don't remember days. Whereas looking at those videos, I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I remember things that I had completely forgot. Watching those videos, it jogs my memory. And I happen to make a few videos with my friends, so that's really nice to see because I captured their feelings on certain things, and yeah, it's just brilliant. So it's a way of documenting your experience, and trust me, as I've said, cruise ships is the best experience ever. You're gonna want to document it. Sometimes it's nicer to have video footage rather than just photographs. Photographs are great, but to have a video of you expressing everything that's going on is priceless. It really is. It's incredible. So I'm not suggesting that you go out and buy a MacBook Pro just for the photo booth application, but you probably have a phone that has a camera, that has a video camera. So use it. And, you know, take a memory stick with you and you can save those videos to your memory stick or a hard drive so that it doesn't clog up the memory in your phone. But yeah, it really is like an amazing way to just vent and get your feelings out and keep you sane. And it is going to be weird at the start because it's probably not something that you usually do. Sit in front of a camera and cry or laugh or whatever. And if you don't talk to yourself, it's going to be weird. I talk to myself all the time, so I was like, this is great. But as I said, if you don't, then it is going to be strange. But the more you do it, like anything, the easier it becomes. And you might not be wanting to start a YouTube channel, but when I started this YouTube channel, I didn't find it weird talking to a camera. And I think that's because I've been making these video diaries for like 4 years prior, so I was used to sitting in front of a camera and talking to myself. Don't worry, I'm not going to come on here and bawl my eyes out, but you get the gist. So if you are also wanting to try YouTube or something in the filming world, then maybe try that. Maybe start making video diaries and it will just get you comfortable in front of the camera. But anyway, I hope you find this video helpful. I know it's a short one and it's probably not something you were expecting, but it is something that I have found invaluable. And I've, you know, told a few of my friends to do it. They've done it and they're like, oh my God, this is great. And like I said, it is just so lovely. You know, for, like I can look back at 2015 when I made my first video on my first cruise ship and see how much I've changed and also see how scared I was. We tend to forget the bad things in life. So it's actually quite amazing to look back on those videos and see how terrified I was. Whereas, you know, now going on cruise ships is my normal, and if I'd have told my 2015 self one day this is going to be normal, I wouldn't have believed it. So if for no other reason than for documentation, you know, to be able to look back and relive your experience on cruise ships, I'm so glad I did it. And anyone who's going on cruise ships, and actually anyone who's going on an adventure, if you're going backpacking, if you're going to university, if you're starting any new job, document that experience, because obviously we're aware that the older we get, the more we grow as people, but it's quite amazing to be able to see that. If I sit down for an hour or two and watch a few of those videos, I'm like, oh my God, I can actually see how I've progressed as a person. And that's great, because you can't capture that in pictures. You can't. You can capture a different hair colour, a different way of doing your makeup, your different dress sense, but you're not going to capture how you've grown as a person. So yeah, that's really nice. But anyway, I hope you have found this video helpful. If you have, press like and subscribe for more cruise ship content. It would mean a lot to me. And any video suggestions, you know what to do. Leave them in the comments or DM me over on Instagram at cruisingascrew and I will get back to you. But thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next video, guys. Bye.